Okay. Guess my AirPods don't want to work today.
There you are.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It was like my AirPods just it w won't see them. So, gonna have a backup plan, I guess.
Josh, did you guys ever do that road trip?
Actually, no. So, had a couple setbacks and delays with some other conferences, and we kind of scheduled around. And right now, excuse me, we're actually looking to do it probably after the first of the year. Most likely,
Oh, I
we're not
see.
going to do the East Coast first. We might go to the West Coast, just pending weather. So
Uh,
we'll see. But still happening for sure. Just there's a couple conferences we went to that we weren't originally planning on, so kind of threw us through a little bit of a delay and switched things around. So
gotcha.
what's going on, Ben?
Not too much. Another beautiful day, man.
Always. All right, let me see here. Trying to get something going. Yeah,
I
hopefully we at
finally,
least. What's that?
I finally started offering backlash only. I've been against it for so long, and then I guess I kind of realized that it doesn't really matter what I'm against, but it's what my customers want to pay for. So
Yeah, not always a glorious repair. Were you just doing frame swaps before, or?
yeah, I used to do backlash a lot, but I switched to frame only because I like using OEM for that. Um,
Yep.
Well, here we are. Backlash again. I'm good at it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I personally would probably rather do a frame swap myself, but we'll see. I've seen plenty of people do back glass and make it look easy. I've seen others that it doesn't look easy at all. But
The removing
uh,
the glass is actually pretty easy, but I don't like to take the risk, so I remove everything. I strip it down pretty much to nothing, and then I do the removal.
yeah, that's probably the smartest way. I mean, I remember when the back glass like laser removal, first came out, there was like people just like blindly throwing them in there, like fully, powered on even, just yeah, let me try it out.
With laser, that's not too bad. I
Oh
mean,
no.
you should probably remove the screen and on some models the camera. But if you use the frames, then it's not the
Oh yeah,
worst thing.
frame. Yeah, no, I'm saying I see people putting like phones powered on inside of them, while they're on doing it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
No. There should always be some level of disassembly. With heat though, you got to remove everything because you're gonna desolder shit. Like
yep.
I tried doing it even with the flashlight installed, and I kept desoldering the flashlight.
Yeah, no thanks. That's I'm glad I don't repair anymore. I think the last phone I truly repaired, the iPhone series, might have been like an iPhone, I don't know, 8 series. I don't
Hmm.
think I've done anything in the beyond that.
Josh, you don't even. I thought you had one repair store left.
I
No.
don't do anything. No. So, I mean, my friend runs it and owns it. I just kind of like my office is here. I've helped him and, get it started and do the back end of it. But, he does everything. I don't have anything to do with it.
Where is your
Oh,
store?
We're in a little tiny town in Illinois, about an hour outside of St. Louis,
Cool.
surrounded by cornfields and Amish. Okay. Well, usually, like I told Alex, takes a little bit for people to hopefully hop on once they see the live going and stuff like that. So we'll wait a little bit. Like I said, Alex, if you got a few things you need to do in the meantime, you're more than welcome to. I'd rather it be something for you to talk about, at least with more people. I know Tony and a couple other people will be jumping on here soon. Rashad, how are you today? It's a glorious Friday.
What's up, man? I'm
What?
doing pretty good.
Is the weather nice where everybody's at? Yeah, no?
It's a little cool outside, but
It's
Yeah.
good inside my store.
Fair. Can't argue that. I think it's like 60 outside, so I mean it's not bad. All right, let's see. Everybody's always asking for the link, and I always tell people.
Yeah, you bought that nice domain for what?
I've had that domain since like 2014, and I've never used it.
Yeah,
So I was like,
oh,
oh,
I
this would be a good redirect.
oh, I need to get some.
I own like 20 domains that all redirect to my website. I just have like computer repair Jacksonville, like bullshit like that. I just have a whole bunch of those. I figured I'd buy them before someone else does.
I did some domain snatching back in the day, and I've slowly let a lot of them expire at this point. It's like, eh. I mean, there was some of them like, yeah, there might be something, but like like unless you have a very unique one, and I'm saying like something that wouldn't even be in this industry, right? Like I remember a lot of people always bought stuff that were really like cell phone based or repair based or something like that. Like that's my thing with the repair network was like it's kind of generic, like it could be for anything repair. So it wasn't like
Right.
isolated, but I bought it for like $500 from a guy that wasn't doing anything with
Damn.
it. Yeah, and I've just sat on it since. Figured one day maybe it'll have some use.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Now you're using it.
yeah. Finally, took me
Do you know
10
if
years.
is Tony still doing the Vouch Club?
We'll ask him when he gets on. I think so, but I don't know. Like, I don't think. I mean, it's a great idea, right? Like, this has been discussed so many times in the groups and everything else. But like, it's just hard. Like, it's hard to maintain. It's hard to know and trust, regardless of vouching. Even if like the easiest way is purely just using an escrow service online
Mm-hmm.
if that was the case, right? Like, why even get other people involved with it? It's like, if you're that worried, just do that. Don't complicate it. Don't, I don't know.
Right.
Beyond that, I mean, I feel like that's only applicable to like a larger deal too, right? If I'm spending a thousand and a couple $1,000 for somebody, sure, but like $100, $200, like, I don't know. This
Yeah.
industry's wild. Either way.
You'll get scammed for $10 in this industry. And then
Definitely
some
Yeah,
will.
and then the person who gets scammed for $10 will make 20 posts about it until they get their $10 back.
yeah, I think that's how Moda works. Josh, you're in Moda, right? Moda, I
Yeah.
think they charge like a 1% escrow, but then their deals are like a lot higher, so it makes sense
Yeah.
for them.
Did y'all
Yeah.
see the what was it, the 100,000 barrels of jet fuel like a year or two ago in Moda?
I don't remember that one. I've seen some crazy stuff in there, but definitely not that.
Yeah, it was like someone wanted to buy 100,000 barrels, and I think they connected with the right person too.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Moda's
surprised at
crazy.
all. Yeah. I mean, I was like, I think I'm only in collective, and what was it? Like a while back, Brandon Bowski like auctioned off his like kind of like gummy. It was like male enhancing gummies or something company that like he started, but like could
Yeah,
never.
I remember that.
And some guy got like a steal, like whatever it ended up going for was a pretty good like deal overall, like for like what you got for the deal. So I don't know if he's ever taken off with it or what. I need to go back and check on that. But yeah,
He
you'll
was,
always just find like crazy stuff like that.
yeah, that's it. They make a lot of money from that site too.
Yeah, I've never used. So, Alex, is the escrow? Is it like? Do they do it in Hype and Collective? I haven't seen or used it personally, so I didn't know how it like works. Do they just have kind of like,
It's mainly in watches.
uh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Definitely makes sense there then.
yeah.
And
So
you even
they'll
have to pay to be in the watch club too, don't you?
no, that's they have like two separate ones. They have one
Uh,
that you have to pay, and then that's where all the dealers are. And then there's another one where the dealers mainly sell and you can buy and sell in them. And then
got it.
in the public one that's not private, that you don't have to pay for, you can use their escrow service where you'll basically send you'll send your watch to a Moda admin, and then Moda admin will regulate it, check it, authenticate it, and then grade the condition and everything, and then they take 1% of the purchase price.
It's not bad. I mean, they're essentially becoming like a StockX authenticator, similar,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Huh. I mean, that's smart. I mean, they've built a hell of a community. I mean, I gotta give them props for that. I mean, it's massive. I would hate to know my livelihood, like most of the livelihood of my business empire is relying on Facebook groups, though.
That's true because their car club got shut down for like a couple months.
Yeah, they had issues with a couple groups. I know, like back in the day too, where like they just get shut down. Like they come in the next day is like done. Like Moda Miss,
Yeah.
I think was one of them. Like
Mm.
I think they got in trouble for.
That one was gone for a while.
Let's see. What? People saying this doesn't work? Yeah, are you crazy? It does too work. 049. All right. Give another minute or two. I think Tom's getting ready to join. And anybody else be watching on live? It's a pretty nice little safe you got there, Ben.
Thank you. I just got it delivered this morning. I'm showing it off.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
No, I'm in my new repair area. I got this it's a little bit of a mess because I haven't organized it all yet. But I got this workbench built the other day
Oh, that's
and
good.
put some dead space to use.
So the bitch getting that gun safe in there?
Yeah. I got it from Tractor Supply, and they would only put it right in the front
To the
door.
door. Yep.
Yeah. So I borrowed a hand truck from there's a paint store next door, and I wiggled it back here and got it into place somehow. I'm not sure how I did that, but
Yeah. Those are some big heavy ones, that's for sure. My cousin's got some pretty big ones. They've had to bring like we have a pretty steep driveway, like where he's got some property, and they'll have to like unload it off the semi trailer and get a forklift and then take it down. And yeah, it's just crazy seeing how big some of them are.
yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Who we got there? Mr. iPhone.
That is Tom Zalewski
Ah, all
at
right,
your
Tom.
service. Made of them.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Ben.
Same shit, different day. Hustling, working, stressing, happy.
All of the emotions at once, right?
Exactly.
Tony,
Oh, hello.
when did you get here?
Like a minute
Same,
ago.
I was gonna
Okay.
say
I was
same time.
You didn't announce your arrival.
No, I don't have trumpets playing, unfortunately, when I walk in the room.
There. All right, well, I guess we can probably get started here. Tom is actually the reason we're using this topic to begin with. He suggested it, and I made a post. And oddly enough, I've known Alex for a long ass time and never had any idea that he did prepaid. And he reached out to me and apparently isn't prepaid and claims he likes it. So, I think it would be good to get him on here to talk about the positives because all I've seen is negatives on prepaid, but I think there's definitely money to be made, and I think it could be a good service to offer. And obviously, everybody's demographic and markets are a little bit different, but wanted to bring you guys on here and kind of chat about your experiences. So, Alex, if you want to go ahead and kind of introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your experience.
Yeah. So I have two stores. I've been in business. I've known Josh since like what, almost 10 years now, right? Yeah. So we started doing prepaid during COVID. So this is around the time like 2019, around 2019, we started doing prepaid mainly because that was when the RSIMs we were able to unlock phones with the ICCID, and then it was like a semi-factory unlock. So when that was like booming during that time, we're like, okay, how do we make more money? So that's when we got a master dealer, and started doing prepaid. And we've been doing prepaid since then. Now I only do the major carriers. So I carry AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Cricket. Just those four carriers. There's like so many other carriers out there like Red Pocket, Simple Mobile, H2O, but those are like the bottom tier prepaid carriers. I don't like to deal with them because customer service is really bad for those two as well. And we've been doing that since then. And now I have Xfinity prepaid internet too, and AT&T contract postpaid. So I was able to get the AT&T postpaid contract deal because I was doing prepaid for such a long time through my master dealer, and they offered me to be a AT&T authorized dealer. So I'm able to sign people up with, credit checks and stuff if they want to do AT&T postpaid now too. But on the prepaid side, it's great. The best one I would say is Verizon, because you get up to 15 months, I believe, spiffs. So after you sign up a customer and then they stay with Verizon for up to 15 months, you get, I think it's like $6 a month every time they pay their bill. So it's just awesome. Like
I think
for
you gave
15
him more
months.
than that.
Sorry?
Is it more, isn't it more than $6? It's 10% per payment, no?
10% per payment if you take the payment in store.
Right,
But
right,
if they
right.
just pay their bill, like auto pay, whatever, you still get the spiff commission, which is like $6 a month, up to 15 months.
Okay, got it.
AT&T, T-Mobile, and Cricket, they're usually you get month one, you get the commission upon activation, and then you get month two and month three. So you only get like two more payments, two more commission, 2 more months of commission after you activate a line. But Verizon is the best one, right? They give you like the most amount of commission money. And since we do all four, like Cricket, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, all four carriers, it's great monthly, like just spiff income. That's on top of you, and then you also get when you activate it, you get more bonus when you first activate it, on top of the spiff bonus, like the second month, third month. So it's great. Like anybody that's not doing prepaid, they should really do it. Now that unlocks are dead, you can't really do the RSIM unlocks anymore because everything switched to eSIM. What we've been doing is somebody comes in with an AT&T phone, put them on Cricket prepaid, and it's fine. Like the phone doesn't get blacklisted. If you put them on AT&T prepaid, the phone will get blacklisted for sure. But if you put them on Cricket prepaid, the phone doesn't get blacklisted. We haven't had any issues. We've been doing it for years. But someone comes in with Verizon, put them on Verizon prepaid. If they come with a 14, 15, or 16.
Do you sell a lot of your used devices with new activations sometimes too? If somebody's needing a
Yeah,
new
so
device?
so
Yeah.
yeah, so that's great too, because anything with like carrier locked devices, like they come in, I'll give them like the first month for free if they choose a carrier locked device, because I have all four major carriers available, right? So if they want to buy a device, I'll be like, hey, I'll give you the first month for free, and I'll activate it for them. So which is great too. That way they don't have to go to another, a store to get service activated.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that seems like it'd be a no-brainer. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, what's been your experience, I guess, like marketing it? Are you just doing your normal marketing like you did for repair to like let people know, or just letting your existing
Yeah,
customers know, like, hey, we offer this now, or
so during that COVID, when RSIM, the ICCID unlocks were very popular, I was running like Facebook ads has been great for that. So even today, I still run ads. Hey, we can unlock your phone. Like till today, the RSIMs still work. They actually still work, but obviously only up till the 13 because those are the only models with the SIM tray. So they still work. So I'm still doing unlocks. So they come on the AT&T phone, like, hey, I'll unlock it for you, and I'll put you on T-Mobile, and then set them up with servers and charge them for the unlock and everything. So that's how I'm marketing on Facebook. And then if somebody messages on Facebook saying that they have 15 or 16, 14, 15, 16, then we'll tell them, hey, sorry, we can't unlock your phone, but we can set you up with prepaid. And this is be the cost. You just come in, we'll set you up. Because if these customers, they go into a carrier, like for example, if it's like a Verizon phone, a Verizon customer, they go to a Verizon store and be like, hey, I want to set a Verizon prepaid on my phone. Corporate stores are not going to do that. They're not allowed to do that. They just can't do that. Same with AT&T, same with T-Mobile. But as a independent, third party dealer, there's no restriction on us to do that. Even our master dealer was like, yeah, you can do that. Just put them on prepaid.
Huh.
So that's how I'm marketing. Facebook has been great. Like for unlocks, repairs in my experience, repairs in my area, Facebook ads for repairs are like pretty bad. They don't the results are not that great, but unlocks has been amazing for us.
Interesting.
Can I ask, you mentioned something about if you put them on certain carriers, they don't get blacklisted. I might not be reading something right here, but why are they getting blacklisted? Are you saying like for non-payment with other carriers?
So that's specifically to AT&T. If you put a AT&T 14, 15, or 16 on AT&T prepaid, AT&T will flag that device and then blacklist that device like right away.
Really?
We
Just
noticed
because
it.
it's not paid off? Okay.
Yeah, if it's not paid off. But all the other carriers, they don't do that. So there is a small chance, but then we just, as long as you let the customers know that, I mean, they're fine because this is prepaid, right? So you just let them know like, hey, there's a chance there's a small chance that your phone could get blacklisted. And if it does, then you just got to get a new phone because they're only paying like $50 a month to get the service activated. So not that much loss for them, even if it does get blacklisted, which is very rare. Most of like I would say like 99% of my customers, they're fine. They don't get their phones blacklisted. Like a few will come back and like, hey, my phone's blacklisted. We check it. Either one, they reported a lost or stolen, trying to file an insurance claim, which is like on them, right? It's not a lot. But then like very few times it would actually get blacklisted for non-payment. And then just tell them, hey, you just gotta get a new phone, and then they're fine with it because they only pay like I only charge them like $25 for the activation / SIM card, so end up paying me like $75 to set everything up. So they're even if they got to use it for like a month, like they're not that much loss on their end.
Got it.
And you had said
And the
to me, I
commissions are
think,
great too. Yeah,
that
go
like
ahead.
obviously one big thing is obviously like your master dealer, right? Like where's your support coming from? Who's helping you? Like do they have good customer service? Whatever it may be. Like I do know that was one thing I always would see complaints about from people who would go with these other carriers, and whether it was the master dealer issue, whatever it was, but like there was always, complaints there. And I know you said you try to get him his availability today, but he couldn't hop on. But your guy, you've been nothing but happy with. So did you talk to other
Yeah,
people before you met this guy, or it just kind of kicked off?
I have dealt with other master dealers, and same there has been some issues, but for the most part, the master that I've been dealing with, he's been great. Like now, there are some times where the system does glitch, right? And then sometimes you'll just lose out on an activation. Like sometimes, the eSIM doesn't go through or something, and you know you'll actually have to call customer service yourself and then get it resolved. Like that's the main problem with prepaid that I'm experiencing right now. Is like sometimes the eSIM won't go through. You activate a phone, but then the eSIM profile doesn't get downloaded. Then you have to call customer service, and that's mainly with T-Mobile right now. With Cricket, they've already implemented a tool where you can manually push out, send the eSIM profile again. But for the most part, there's not that many issues, but if there is any issues, just gotta call customer service yourself. Pretend like you're the customer because you have all the customer's information anyway, first name, last name, PIN number, and all of that. So
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Tony? Welcome, showing up late.
Yeah, had to go get some food instead of eating on the camera.
Yeah, thank you. Probably made me hungry.
Put me up to date. Well, I've
Yeah,
seen two people got two safes in the back of them, and you got a safe, Alex, and I seen a safe with who was it, Rashad? I'm like,
Ben. No,
what are you
Ben had
guys
one. Yeah,
trying to have somebody rob me?
no,
Ben's
we
just
got
got
robbed
delivered
before. We got
today.
robbed like 2 years ago.
That's
My store
crazy.
got robbed like 2 months ago. No, 2 years ago, I think.
Was that
Yeah.
whenever a bunch of
Oh,
them got robbed in Atlanta area?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was one of the ones that got hit in Atlanta. There was like a string of stores
Yep.
that got robbed in Atlanta. And thankfully at that time I wasn't selling any devices. I just started selling devices. They didn't see any of my devices. They just took all my freaking parts.
wow. Well, it's
I,
lucky
I had a
because
lot.
you're not buying devices. You're not buying devices from me.
No, I had a lot of parts. I had like stacks of like MacBook screens, and it's like I think Josh, did you see the video where these guys just walked out of my store with a stack of MacBook screens?
It's nuts. Yeah, like
Wow.
usually, yeah, like you don't hear, them stealing parts. It's either phones or like a computer from the front
Hmm.
desk or something like that. But parts, wow.
Well, put me up to date. What was today's subject we were talking about?
Prepaid in stores. Alex, I was talking to him because I made a post asking who was in prepaid and if anybody had experience. Tom had originally brought the idea up to talk about. I know he does prepaid, and we wanted to see about other people. Just get different perspective on it, right? Because you see in the groups, it's always negative. Nobody really ever has anything good to say about prepaid. So Alex reached out to me and said he loves prepaid, and I was like, okay, well, this is new, so like I wanted to hear his side and what's different about him. But I mean, for me, the biggest thing is he's doing the major carriers, right? He's not doing your little smaller prepaid, so he's doing AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Cricket. So and a lot of the issues, it seems like it comes from those other smaller regionals and
Postpaid,
stuff.
Alex, or prepaid?
Prepaid, I have all those prepaid, and then I have AT&T postpaid as well. I just got
Oh, postpaid.
AT&T
Okay.
postpaid about a year ago. Yeah, so I have AT&T postpaid, and everything else is prepaid.
I don't want to seem like I have a story for every situation, but literally, like 20 minutes ago, I'm on the cameras at one of the locations where an employee is dealing with a old lady. Old lady comes in, she's having problems with T-Mobile. So she's telling the employee, I'm having problems with the T-Mobile service. So the employee is actually, even though we are a dealer for T-Mobile prepaid, the employee is sending her to the T-Mobile store. She's giving her the phones back, and she said, "You need to go to the T-Mobile store to troubleshoot it." At that moment, my general manager walks into the store and sees that situation. All he did is talk to the lady and said, "Okay, we're going to switch you on Simple Mobile." And there it is, two prepaid activation with $25 activation fees and the first month paid. So we made $150 just by the right person behind the counter. Prepaid is good. I don't say it's a large percentage of our stores, but I've had stores that does 40 to 70 activations a month in like Simple Mobile, Ultra Mobile, and I think those carriers, to my last knowledge, they pay almost the first month and some of the second and third month. So if let's just say if it's the first month of 50 and you do 80 activations, that's $4,000. You know what I mean? $4,000 that pays off, your rent and your store expenses minus payroll. So to my knowledge is I don't highly recommend focusing on it 100% due to the fact of what happened to me in the past, where at one point of time we did 150 activations or almost 200 activations for T-Mobile. And T-Mobile actually brought a corporate store and opened one right next to us. So we felt like they were testing the market through us as a prepaid store, multi-carrier store. And when we gave full attention to one carrier, they realized that that area needs T-Mobile store. So they actually opened a corporate store right next to us. So what we've ended up doing since then, I think that was back in 2014, 2015, we've been, let's say we sell 100 activations a month. We put 20 at Simple, 20 in Ultra, 20 in T-Mobile, and 20 in Verizon or AT&T. So we control that. We tell our employees to control the activations instead of giving all the activations to one carrier, and then we'll get their attention in a way or another, saying, that area is pretty good for T-Mobile and Verizon. So we'll just split, to us, we're still getting paid, 100% of the activation for the first month. So might as well just spread it around 5 different carriers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was muted.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
Verizon how was doing that for the past like 3 months. They were doing first month zero activation fee. So I don't do Simple Mobile, Ultra Mobile. I have access to those, but then I feel like I prefer just staying with the major carriers. Just it's just easier to sell versus Ultra Mobile. You gotta like explain to them. Okay, Ultra Mobile, Simple Mobile, they both work off like Ultra Mobile works off T-Mobile. So you gotta go explain instead. If it's a T-Mobile phone, I just put them on T-Mobile prepaid.
Yeah, but
But
I still you're putting it between 3 to 4 carriers. That's the best part
correct,
about it. Like,
correct.
I mean,
Yeah,
even the 4 major carriers like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, we even have Cricket in our stores as well.
yeah, me too. Cricket,
And
yeah,
it's
Cricket is
pretty good.
good.
I mean, it's pretty known at the moment. So we don't have a problem selling prepaid services. I just think it probably makes about, I do want to say like 3 to 5% of our revenue monthly. Not much.
Mm,
It's confusing for employees to focus on too many carriers. So you are doing the right thing by having like 3 to 4 major carriers in your
yeah,
store, which is really important. But the revenue of it and the residuals are pretty good, but I just think it takes too much knowledge and effort to push a prepaid service into a multi-carrier store versus a customer going into the actual carrier store. And I think for the past maybe 10 years, really nothing special about prepaid, What do they have to offer more than 5 for 100? You know what I mean? What do they have to offer more than every company has a free A15. Every company has a no contract. Every company has and I'm talking about prepaid. Every company has 5 for 100. Every company has unlimited talk, text, and internet. So what's next? You know what I mean? For the past few years, I think it's just been going on between customers who are signing up with Metro, for example, and getting an A15. And when they break that phone, they just go back to Cricket and port their number back to Cricket and get a free phone. So that's been going on for the past years, a few years, to my knowledge. So there's really not too much special going on with the prepaid carriers. They are struggling as self like Metro, like Cricket. Actual stores are doing very, very bad at an all-time high. Since I've had relationships with people that work there, a lot of stores are losing at or breaking even at the moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll just chime in for a brief second. You said something that's probably the most important thing out of all of this. If you're going to get into prepaid, I agree, you should, right? If you're not offering it, that's silly. But you shouldn't be like, hey, we're going to offer every single one out there because you as an owner or you as an operator, sure, you can figure it out, right? We have the passion, we have all the upside. We're willing to work the 14-hour days and memorize the stuff and sell it. And no one's going to be a better salesman than us. Now, think of your $15, $16 an hour employee who works their 8 hours a day and clocks out at 5:59. They're not going to remember 13 different carriers. So what I would focus on is one of each, right? So if you're in an area where Verizon's hot, obviously make sure you offer Verizon or a Verizon prepaid. If you're in a market where like AT&T is like 1% of your market, maybe it's not worth selling it, right? Maybe it's not worth all the effort into trying to teach your employees on that. Like focus on what's good, what's popular in your market first, and then you can branch out from there. That'd be my recommendation. Don't just go in there and be like, all right, sign up for all the postpaids and then the ultras and the simples and all those, and then next thing you know, it's kind of like when you start introducing financing to your store, you don't on day one sign up for American First, Acima, Progressive, Snap, and six other companies. Like your employees are not going to remember. They all have different policies, different everything. So start with one or two and then work your way up. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I mean, you're going to be in for a hell of a pain. But that'd be my recommendation. But yeah, definitely do prepaid.
You said at one point earlier, I'm pretty sure you said you just started offering, was it Xfinity internet service too?
Yeah, yeah. So I have Xfinity prepaid internet service too. So just like $45 a month. Um, my master dealer has it, so you have the modems in the store, so in stock, and you charge them. I charge the customer $100 for the modem and the first month. The modem cost me $35, and then after you activate it, the master deal will you'll get a $25 commission. So your cost to is $0 to activate it through the Xfinity website. Once you activate the modem, zero cost on your end, but you just have to pay for the modem, which is $35 a modem, and so you'll total cost is like $10. So you'll make like $90 for every modem you sell. But the bad thing about that is they don't give you month to month respiffs. You only get
One
the
time.
initial one
You
time.
do
So
get a 10% refill rate though, which is nice.
if they do refill, yeah. So it's that's just the Xfinity is like I from what I heard they're about to I think they're about to roll out wireless as well. But I think that's gonna be sometime next year. But internet wise that's great. That's good. But then ever since we got AT&T postpaid contract, man, AT&T postpaid, if you sign up somebody for AT&T fiber, you get $350 commission.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
about that. I got
mm-hmm.
offered to do postpaid. I just completely now you reminded me to email the guy back from Cupid. I'm like, oh fuck yeah,
Yeah.
$350.
Yeah, so AT&T postpaid is like obviously it's a lot more work because you gotta do credit check on them and all that. But
Yep.
Yeah.
their fiber commission is crazy. 350 for 1 gig and 2 gig if they activate fiber. And it's if you sign up somebody for postpaid like contract, I think it's $150 base per line if they buy a phone, and you get uh like $10. I forgot what the comp sheet was, but you can get up to like $200 per line in commission
Yeah.
if you sign them up for postpaid.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, that makes so
Yeah.
much sense. I'm just thinking about like one of my last jobs before I got into this industry. I actually worked at a call center, and yeah, you're reminding me how much money we got paid, or just the company got paid for those activations. We would do all sorts of home services as well as direct TV, and we would make as much as like $55 commission as employees for selling direct TV.
Oh,
That was
okay.
a good paying job. That's a very good paying. So it makes me wonder, like, how far can you take it? So you got prepaid, now you have, other services.
Oh,
Can you how far can you really take that, basically?
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Well, can I hop in with
Yep,
some
let's
opinions and whatnot? So I've been doing prepaid since like I think like 2011 or 10, something like that. And I worked at a store before I opened up my own shop. I worked for a guy who did only prepaid. And he was the type of guy where it's like, you have to sell everything, and I'm going to give you a quota for each fucking plan or each carrier. And it was nuts. But we had a good location, and there was always foot traffic there, bus stops and all that stuff, just in Chicago. And yeah, we did all the simple mobiles. He was one of those guys that would sell SIM cards on eBay, activate them, and just collect the spiffs. And it was a crazy time back then. But in my opinion, it is good to have prepaid in your store, even if like I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I hate prepaid, yada yada yada, it sucks." But if you really do snowball it, people, always recommend people to come into the store and make a payment, because if they come into the store and make a payment, they might purchase an accessory. They might even can show them phones and whatnot. So it gives definitely an incentive for people to come back to your store, because what's one of the biggest problems that we face with people buying phones? They buy stuff off Amazon or whatever. So if you get that foot traffic, the extra foot traffic, there's a higher chance that someone will buy something from you while they're there making a payment that you're already making a percentage off of. So that's just my experience from that. As Alex said, Verizon prepaid is definitely number one when it comes to payouts, because they do offer a 10% refill rate. Like I said, I do like having my customers come back to the store, just for the sole fact you get the extra refill rate, then you get the residual. I personally charge a $2 fee per payment. That's just a convenience fee. So I make an extra $2 per payment, plus the plan, plus tax. So people always ask me, like, why is it more expensive than other shops? The extra $2 pays me. Hey, let's say if there's an issue, let's say if their SIM card's bad, sometimes I'll give them like a free SIM card, stuff like that. If there's an issue with their plan, I'll tell them, hey, I'll call customer service for you, whatever, sometimes that call can take 5 minutes, sometimes it can take longer. But with that customer service call, I have definitely broken down the amount of carriers that I offer, kind of just like Alex did. He does Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, Cricket. I do things a little bit differently because I have a lot of international customers. They want to call overseas. They want to go to Mexico, Canada. So I only offer Ultra, Verizon, and I offer H2O. I used to offer AT&T prepaid, but there was absolutely zero support from our master agent. They changed reps like every few months. It was really annoying. Like a mobile, I have them on the back burner for various reasons. They're the worst in the industry, in my opinion. They're just horrible. But they compete with Ultra. They're horrible when it comes to customer service. They don't give out account numbers. Like, for example, today I called someone for an account number. So when you call it in, you type in, you dial an 8 and then 4. You get connected with a Leica mobile representative. As soon as you start talking about account numbers, they hang up on you, like the first 2 people. So you have to call again. But luckily, they answer quickly. In my experience, Ultra Mobile, best support when it comes to the reps, best support when it comes to customer service. My advice, if you do prepaid, just have a good relationship with your reps. Don't argue with them. Don't complain a lot. Because if you're good to them, they'll be good to you. Especially with like Ultra Mobile. Alejandra, that is in the Midwest. I'll email her an issue. That's something that customer service won't be able to do, and she'll just get it done within a few hours, which is awesome. So you definitely need to figure out what is the best for your area and just work from there. But there is a good money to be made, especially if you have people coming in to your store. One thing that I have figured out is instead of setting people up on auto pay through the carrier, what I have done is Square has an option to do recurring payments. So I set them up on my own Square recurring payments. When they get their bill taken out, I take their full price. Like, for example, they pay $50 plan. I charge $57.13 for that $50 plan. So they get charged on their card. I take the payment. I get emailed by Square that there was a payment done. And so I take that data, I make the payment, and then I go ahead and put that data into repair desk. Why do I do that instead of them just doing auto pay through the carrier? Well, then I get the extra 7 or so percent through making a payment through VitaPay. So you make more while they're still not coming into your store and doing auto pay and whatnot. So I just figured that out. So if you have a system that does recurring payments, you don't have to have them go straight to the carrier. You make more money getting that payment directly to you. You do have to make the payment manually, but hey, you make extra money, So there is ways to make prepaid profitable still. It pays for my rent, it pays for my bills, so that's good. Then I have all the repairs. But if you're only doing prepaid, I know a guy near me that's only doing prepaid. I have no idea how he's still open. But I've heard a lot of shops
No way.
closing. Um, I talked to my ultra reps and they're saying, shops are still closing down. The ones that don't know how to do repairs or anything like that, they don't do phone sales, they're closing down. But with that, I've been talking to reps about paying out more because the fact is that the refill rates and the residuals haven't changed since 10 years ago, if not more. They're the same, 5 to 10%. So when it comes to that, when it comes to that, I spoke to them and I gave them the idea. I'm like, hey, you guys are making so much money off of these payments per month, anywhere from $19 to $50, but it seems like everyone has done race to the bottom prices, and all you're competing with on marketing is, oh, I'll give you 3 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes, whatever. I'm like, how about you guys stop that? Because no one cares about the race to the bottom. You guys haven't changed anything good for at least maybe a few years now. How about whoever the first prepaid company that actually offers, let's say, a 15% residual, raise their prices by $2 or $3 a month, or whatever, then I think that the people who are actually doing prepaid, they'll start porting those people to the person that pays out the most. And then the person that pays out the most will get more money, and therefore everyone's happy. So, in my opinion, I think that a lot of cell phone store owners talk to their reps and just give them the idea that, hey, can we try to get more residual? I don't think it would be a problem, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But those are just some of the ideas that I wanted to talk about as well, because the reason why those prepaid shops are actually closing are because, well, they don't pay out enough. You can't pay your rent. Food's more expensive. So what's the solution? Well, then the prepaid companies have to raise their prices, and then if they raise their prices a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, they'll be able to give a few more percent to their dealers, and then everyone's happy. And the first person to do that will get a lot more activations, in my opinion. Like, let's say if, for example, let's say if Ultra Mobile did that, I would go ahead and start activating them. That's what I would. So, but that's just my 2 cents on it. I definitely think it's a good idea to offer prepaid in your stores, depending on what you do. Depends on how busy you want to be, and you definitely need to be patient. Because you do get those customers that come in and they're like, oh, this isn't working, or they start thinking that because you do prepaid, then you have to automatically help them with their Facebook. So you definitely do get those customers, but I think that the outcome after, if you really work hard for like a year, you'll see the rewards. And I'm sure, Alex, that you see that after a while, you start seeing the money snowballing into your bank account.
Yeah,
It's
for
nice.
sure.
I know the beginning, the first 3 months, you start to feel like it's not worth it. You don't get those customers, yada yada. But every repair customer that you get, hey, by the way, we do this. Here's a pamphlet. Calculate how much money you make per year, or calculate how much you pay for your postpaid account per year. I'll bet you I'll save you more than $500 per year. Except once you say that kind of stuff, they're going to come in and they're going to start to port, and they're going to be happy with the service, because it's, at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same thing. I get a lot of customers porting from T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and they're like, I can't believe I didn't know about this sooner. Why don't they tell me about prepaid? Just like how, Alex, you said that you can't activate in those big box stores prepaid because they make the money off the phone sales.
Yeah.
That's why. So they find a person like you, and if you're a professional and you act like a big box store, then you'll be able to do really well, in my opinion. So
That's what I was
Even
curious
even
too.
even
Sorry, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, Josh.
sorry
Even
for the
for
giant
cricket,
spiel.
some
I was just gonna say
some
that I thought it was, I wondered how much more of a customer value do you see from, do you get new customers because of this? And then on top of that, like repairs, and like this brings in more foot traffic, right? Like whether it's existing customers or new customers, I have to feel that it's hard to see too many negatives, right? Like you're either going to get maybe repairs. Sure, there might be some cheap A series stuff that you're not going to mess with, but I mean, you're going to have people that you have switched over that have iPhones or Galaxies, stuff like that, or that person that needs a new MacBook or iPad. So I feel like there's a lot more positive long-term customer value than there is otherwise, right? Like it's, you're essentially just bringing more customers into your business.
Yeah,
That's
no, don't get me wrong. I get those people that come in and they piss me the hell off, but at the end of the day, once you see those commission checks, it's just like, okay, well, now my rent is paid, then I can focus on all my repairs, all my phone sales, and that brings in the bread and butter. As long as my rent is zero or plus more, then I'm happy, because then at the end of the day, it pays for rent,
It
it
kind
pays
of
for
makes me
phone bill. So,
kind of makes me laugh because you're making a really good point because you'll see a lot of people in the groups go, "Oh my gosh, the sky is falling. How am I gonna pay my rent? How do we make more money?" It's like prepaid. They're like, "Nah, I don't want to deal with those customers." Then go close your store, and
right,
then they
yeah,
do.
no,
Like they
for
go out
sure.
of
I mean,
business 6 months later, and it's
Chris,
like, dude, I mean,
I'd rather I'd rather do this. I'd rather sell prepaid than try to put people on financing on phones. I think that's more difficult. you know.
No, it's for sure it is. It's a lot
So
harder
wait,
to
wait, wait.
finance a phone. I
How do
think
you say
oh, here
no?
we go.
How do you how do you
I
say
I knew you were
financing?
gonna say something. um, the only reason
Why? You can, Alex. Why financing is more hard than prepaid?
s- my approval rate for financing is just maybe the area that I'm in is just really bad. You
Who's your
know,
financing companies?
I use Acima and then Acima dropped me. And then now I'm using PayVantage and Progressive. And then PayVantage, they have a hidden score. My approval rate's down to 50% now.
If people see me defending finances, they think that I get paid from it. I don't. I really don't. Just a disclaimer. I do believe that
Sure.
finances. Now, I'm pretty sure where you at, Alex? You're in Atlanta, you said?
Atlanta.
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 I'm in Tampa, Florida. Tampa is probably well, it's been on the news that it's the number one fraud city in the U.S. So I can guarantee you that it doesn't get worse than Tampa with the fraud and all that kind of stuff. I do say that it matters who's applying the finances to the customer. You test the customers at the point of purchase. You can't deny everyone, of course, if they're coming to ask for it, you're going to have to provide it. I do think that financing will add at least another 50% to your revenue. 100%, no doubt about it. I see it on every single day basis. I've seen store went from 20 to 50 a month. I've seen store went from 30 to 60, from 50 to 80. I've seen that under the proper employee who's offering financing. I've seen stores which do $500 or $700 a day, and with one finance, they're up in 2,000. And here's why I believe in it. I believe in it because one, you're now fighting to add more things onto the customer's ticket.
Tab.
Exactly. You're not fighting count the device. So if they get if they walk into your store to buy something for $1,000 and they only have $1,000, they're definitely going to negotiate a discount to go under $1,000. Now they have a $2,000 ticket or finance, and now you're just the phone that's $1,000. You're going to sell it for $1,000 because I do not believe in overcharge. I do believe in upsell. So you're selling him a phone for 1,000. You're selling him an AirPod for 250. You're selling him a case instead of 15. Now it's 35. Or you're choosing the $35 case. You're choosing the Axum Armor, for example, tempered glass instead of the $10 one. You're selling it a $40 one. A portable charger, a battery pack, whatever, and now you're at $2,000 worth of items. You're not. And now your profit margin went from a customer negotiating $1,000 phone that your profit, let's say initially was $150. You would have probably made $100. Now your profit margin is $700 on a $2,000 sale. So you can't go wrong with that. Now, the best part about it is you're not held accountable to if the customer doesn't pay. Unfortunately, like your case, which my case in the past with Progressive, they dropped me due to a higher percentage of customers
High default,
paying.
yeah, high default rates.
Yeah, and we've had that. So what we did, we ended up with if we think that there's a red flag with a customer, but they are asking for a service, we give them Pay Advantage. Pay Advantage locks the device if they don't pay, so they're gonna end up coming back to you if there's an issue. If you've been in the game for long, there is a company called PayJoy in the past that was very similar to Pay Advantage, where they lock the device. It was pretty good. Unfortunately, Acima, Progressive, America's First Finance, they don't lock the device. But at that point, it's your choice to, unfortunately, you have to judge the customer that walks in through your door. If they look suspicious, they're looking around, you know what I mean? You're offering what they want. But I do believe that it does add 10, let's just put it at $10,000 profit extra a month. It does. Prepaid does not. In my opinion, prepaid to begin with, you're probably making $300, $400 a month. You know what I mean? If you're lucky.
Well, that's why I mean it's easier. It doesn't pay out as much. It's easier. An easier
Yeah.
thing doesn't pay out as much. My biggest issue with financing is I offer it, but once I tell them that, hey, I'm gonna, like, the company will add on a default extra payment, right? They always deny it.
You lost me there. That's the problem. You lost me there. If I was your customer, you lost me there.
Yes,
Why don't
exactly.
Why don't you advertise the part where they're not adding the interest? So
I don't
Acima
know
has
how.
100. Acima has 100 days, same as cash. That's how I advertise it. Hey, you can buy
Yeah.
this phone for $500 right now, or you can pay $50 and pay $500 in 100 days, same as
Yeah.
cash.
Right,
So I
right, right.
think the pitch also could play a big difference. If you're telling the customer we have finance, but you're going to pay $1,000 instead of $500, of course they're not going to agree. But if you're telling them, which Acima does offer that, they do give a customer 100 days, same as cash. Progressive, I think, has what is it, 3 months, or
90 days.
It depends on what your store is categorized as.
they have a
It's
buyout plan or something, right?
if your store is categorized as a cell phone store, I think the rates are a little bit different than if your store is categorized as an electronic store. If it's an electronic store, which mine's is, I think it's 90 days.
Same as cash.
Same as cash, yeah.
Okay.
Same as cash, yeah.
That way you can't let me ask you, can you get better than this? I know furniture does have that, but if I am a customer and my budget is very tight and I really did break my phone, or my daughter's birthday or my wife's birthday, and I want to buy her a phone, and all I have is $149 in my bank account, and I really do want to buy her a 15 Pro Max that costs $900, and I walk into your store, Alex, and you apply for Progressive. Now, it is the 8th of the month, so I paid all my bills, so I'm very tight with money. But end of the month, next month, I will have money. So if I walk into your store and I get an approved for $2,000 and I get 3 months to pay it off for the same exact amount, I'm definitely going to spend the full amount of the phone. I'm definitely going to use the finance option and give you the $149 that I have in my bank account. So I think it is a good deal. It's just how you pitch it to the customers.
100%. I'll chime in real briefly. It's the same story as I sell screen protectors for 40 to 60 bucks with a lifetime warranty with the $15 warranty fee. And then you have other stores in the industry that give them away for free because my customers would never pay. Wrong. It's how you pitch it, right? Like you're also ordering 12-cent China crap in bulk. Like, yeah, and then you have it in a little plastic bag and there's 30 screen protectors in a bag. Yeah, presentation is key. But so it's like that with everything. I mean, hard, bro, very hard. But so that's 100% true. But in addition, I actually have a personal friend of mine. Over a course of a year and a half, or almost 2 years, I financed him 3 different items with American First Finance. His credit score went up 117 points, and then he actually got approved for a house. And those are the only things on his credit. Weirdly, he never had a credit card, but just by financing 3 items, it was a MacBook, iPhone 13 Pro Max, and then an Apple Watch.
Do they report to credit as like an installment loan? Is that what
Depending
it
on who
probably is?
American First Finance does, because that's an actual loan.
Yep.
But they do offer leases as well. So if it's a lease, they report it as like one big payment, right, Tony? I believe it's just one payment. I don't think they report every payment. It's
And the
still
nice
better
thing
than
about
nothing.
it, they give a higher amount,
Right.
$4,000, $3,000,
And
$5,000. I'll give you an example about myself. I went to Best Buy to buy a dryer and a washer machine. And yes, I could have paid it up front. But then they asked me to apply for a credit card at Best Buy. I went in, walking to buy a dryer and a washer that would have probably ended up costing me with taxes and all maybe $1,800. I applied for a credit card with them and I put it on their credit card and they gave me $75 gift cards from Best Buy. They gave me a free shipping. They gave me free installation, and they gave me like I think it was a 15% points, 15% off because I applied on a credit card. So initially I was supposed to walk in paying $2,000. Everything came up to almost 1,700 bucks. And yes, I could have paid it up front. And yes, I applied it and I paid it on their credit card. But then yes, I will pay the credit card within 30 days. So you got to understand that people sometimes do have the money, but they just, and correct me if I'm wrong, the richest people around are using loans or credit cards to live off because you're not, don't use your money, use other people's money.
it's a cash flow. Yeah, on that note, I want to say something that we've done a lot of financing over the years. I would say we've done a lot. One thing that really helps is with your default rates, because if you've been dropped or if you've seen your approval rate dropped or lowered by companies, your default rate more than likely is because people are obviously not paying, right? And so I've had conversations with ASEMA, American First. The number one reason why in our industry why people default, the number one reason is because they'll buy a phone 1,500 bucks, right? They're $50 down, $80 down, barely, right? They scrape by, they got $81 in the account, and then they break their phone 2 months later, and it's a $350 bill. They don't have $350 to fix it. They barely had 50 bucks to put the deposit on it. They can barely afford the $17 a week payments. You hit them with a $300 bill. What do? They go, I can't pay it. I've actually witnessed this firsthand. I actually had a customer that went, I can't pay it. Went to Walmart, bought a $99 Motorola, saved up money for 4 months to be able to get the screen fixed. He was one of the very rare ones where he didn't forfeit his loan. He kept on paying it off. It was like minimal payments, right? 17 bucks a week. But he saved up money for 4 months in order to get his S22 Ultra fixed.
Tony, let me give
And,
you the best case scenario and the proper way to pitch a finance. And I probably would say you're hitting four birds in one. Okay. Let me tell you, and let me tell you what finances can do to you. And that also touched the point of the broken screen part, and that resolves the issue. So a customer comes into your store, gets approved for $1,000. You're selling them a $500 phone. In a situation where you don't want to be in, like the one Tony just said, ACO. Add a ACO plan onto his financing. So now you just did a finance, which you didn't have to give a discount to. You did an ACO plan for the customer, $6 or $10, whatever they charge, onto the finance, and you probably sell him a service if he's all into your store. Definitely the people that's going to come in and do financing in your store, they're not your Verizon customers. They're definitely not. So they're not the ones that are going to a
Verizon money
store. Yeah, they're definitely not. So yes, you can. And that's the reason why Alex is selling prepaid services, because there is people that do buy prepaid services from multi-carrier stores. So a finance, an ACO plan, a prepaid service, and a bunch of accessories. Any bad case scenario that would happen where the customer can come in and they broke their phone, well, definitely they're paying ACO. And ACO will cover you. You hooked him up on ACO for whatever months he wants to keep that finance, and he is struggling to pay that finance, but he is actually paying it. So use that ACO plan that you activated on his account and do the repair for him. Now you've done a finance plan, an ACO plan. You sold him a phone. You sold him a prepaid service. You sold him accessories, and you actually repaired his phone. That's actually 6 birds.
And the thing is, if you sell them, the thing is, you can finance or you can add to the lease the annual ACO plan. So instead of selling it as $8 a month plan, charge them $96, throw it on the invoice because they could. I think the lease has to have at least 70 or 80% of a tangible product. So you have 20% to play with. That doesn't have to be a tangible product. So if you're financing something for even $400, you can sell an annual $8 plan. It covers anything other than theft and cover a loss. If you want, shoot, add it, make it the $11 plan. So even if they lose the phone, you can literally tell your customer, hey, as long as you are current on your payments, it doesn't matter what happens to this phone. You break it, you get it wet, you lose it. It's only $99 to replace it. But here's the beautiful part: if you sell an annual Aqua plan, they give you a credit of like $30 toward their first deductible. So technically, the customer's cost is only $70. So if you wanted to get really, really creative, you could be like, hey, even if you lose it, just $50 will replace it. You eat a $20 thing, whatever, but you're guaranteeing that customer comes back to you. They're going to be loyal to you like nothing else. You lost $20. Well, lost, but you took a $20 hit on your profit on that insurance claim. But now you have a guaranteed customer who loves you. None of the big box stores are going to do that for their customers. You will be the talk of the town if you do that, basically. So yeah, we do that. It works really well. Sell annual plans with the finances, because that will lower your default rates. And if your default rates go down, approval rates go up, approval amounts go up, and the cycle just gets more vicious, right? It just gets better. It's like the opposite thing of if the more defaults you have, then the worse it gets. So this is just the opposite effect. But that is the number one reason why defaults happen. I forget the number, but Asimo said something like over 50 something percent, over 50 of all defaults for repair shops. Customers break the phone and they just stop making a payment because it's a $300 repair. They can't afford $300. Yeah. They don't have it. They got 50
I
bucks.
know sometimes my stories are good to be true, but they're reality. It's not something out of, an imagination. It's something that I personally see. I think what the difference is between a lot of stores who are struggling and a lot of stores are saying, hey, yeah, I'm doing really good. It's probably how you organize your pitch. It does make a big difference if a lot of people, and this is probably one of the things where a lot of people sell or like to sell A-grade devices. It's because we want to sell what we like. I'm one of the guys who, if I like something, I know how to sell it. Okay. And if I don't like something, it just never, I never get convinced with it. So I think what happens is, for example, if you don't like the finance plan, you will not be ever able to pitch it. If you are a very picky person and you don't like scratches on phones, you will never be able to sell C grade, even though your customers may not care. So based on my probably 12, 13 years of dealing with a lot of stores, I came to the conclusion of that the biggest problem that I have with the grading scale, or every vendor grading scale, is the actual store owner. He's the one that's picky. It's not the customer. He is. He's not confident about selling something with scratches on it.
Yeah, it reminds me of my dealership days. Don't spend your customers' money. It's like, oh, I wouldn't pay for this. I wouldn't buy this. Who cares? You don't know what your customers' budget is, what they want. It doesn't matter. You need to take your bias out of it. I don't like this. Cool. Do you like having one store and you've been in the business for 17 years and you're still struggling to pay your rent?
That's
like you should be a millionaire. Like, in all reality, this is not a difficult business, but we make dumb decisions because, well, I don't like. Cool. Do you like making money, or do you like? It's a simple thing. I think sometimes we get in our own way.
10 years and they're going backwards instead of going forwards.
I know a guy who's been in the business for over 20, since way before smartphones.
Yeah.
Has one store, constantly complains about how hard it is to grow. And I'm like, dude, I know guys who've been in the business for 3 years. They have 7 stores. It's not the industry, it's you, which is okay, but recognize that and look at your business. Like, okay, where are we going wrong? But
I think if you're owner operator of one store and you work in it, you're always going to be only able to control that one location. The proper way to do it, I think, is if you own 2 locations or 3 locations, I would take yourself out and look at things, from outside the box in. You're able to control more doors. You cannot be working 12 hours in one location and your employees working at the other location, and you cannot go to deposit even the money at the other location and complain why your employees are not doing this. In that point, what I would do is I would take myself out of the two locations and I would go in between the two locations. This way you'll supervise both and you're able to manage more.
Yep.
And that's how you're able to grow.
Yeah, you can't turn screwdrivers if you want to grow. And I think I know some guys have got like I've had some conversation with some people and they got offended when I said stuff like that. I'm like, well, what if we don't want more locations? I'm like, okay, well, not about more locations. It's do you want to turn screwdrivers for the next 30 years? No, of course not. Because we all want a path to financial freedom. So it's about making it where your business is making you money and you're not just directly trading your time for money every day. You have to figure out a way to whether it's just have one badass location and people are running it and then you have other things going on, or you can just if you just want to work 30 hours a week, whatever your goal is.
Not even just that,
doesn't
Tony.
matter, right?
I think there's always going to be that new 20-year-old guy who knows more about TikTok and Instagram than you. And he's willing to jump on front of Instagram and TikTok and do some stupid ass videos, and he's gonna blow up, and you're gonna run out of business. So it's hard to be. There's like you have to give each generation its respect. You know what I mean? Like it's time. I believe that we're not 20 anymore. You know what I mean? We're not 18 anymore. We don't talk the same slangs they do. That's their time. That's their era. You know what I mean? If a customer walks into their store, they know how to talk. Now, last time I heard gas was pretty good. This is gas. Back in our days, gas was shitty. So slangs are changing. Language is changing. Generations are changing. You just got to give it its own time. So if you think that you are going to have a successful business for 10, 12 years, eventually there's going to be a newer guy that's going to come in down the street from you that's going to do what this generation does. And boom, you're out of business. You got too old. I always say this, and I used to say it a lot: adapt or die.
Yep.
If you're not adapting, you're out.
So I got two things real quick. One is, has anybody heard of terrace finance? Apparently, Nathan Piedmont commented on the live in the group about it, and we introduced him through a partner. Apparently, Kevin has, but Tony, you probably know who the people are from the ERC. When you spoke that last year, you were there. We spoke on a finance thing. It was Green Light or Green. Or was it? There was something.
It was
they offer out like multiple lending options, right? Like you go to them and they kind of show you who your best partner is, like who the best like option is. It's kind of like I can't remember.
You mean the guy we did the ERC at Colorado, right? The guy
Yes.
Yeah, what's his name?
I can't remember what it is, but like they work with like multiple partners, right? And like so it's like they give you multiple options, but he said they have much better rates than Acima and they offer traditional lending options depending on the client's credit. I'll find out who it is.
You apply on their website.
What's the name of the company?
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, it runs it through.
That's Terrace Finance specifically, but there's a company that we partnered with that like has all these other offerings. So I think like it gets just targeted based on what you're doing. Let me see. And then my other thing was Cody Hood would be a great person to try to get on here, because if I tell you this dude is the king of finance, there's nobody that could probably do financing better than this guy. People are financing phones, iPads, computers. Homie is financing zero turns. You need a new fence for your yard? Financed. Got you. Like whatever you need, he's got Dysons. Like he's running a full on like Rent-A-Center style, but like premium type of like operation, and he's just crushing it. Like
That's brilliant.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've talked to him about it. And he's told me some of his numbers, and they would blow you away. When I'm not even talking, there's no repairs, nothing, just pure financing
still in Clearwater,
numbers.
right?
Now Cody Hood, he's in Arkansas, and the
Yeah.
Sticks, yeah.
Well, he came out of it in Clearwater. I know he had a bunch of stores here. He ended up buying more at Arkansas. No,
No,
Somebody
that's got to be a
else.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking of someone
Yeah.
else.
You saying Toby? Toby?
Oh no, you
Cody
Cody.
Hood.
You're
Cody.
thinking of Yeah, Toby. Nah, not Toby.
Yeah.
No, Toby opened up a store in like Michigan or something like that, and then
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, Cody. Yeah, no, Cody is the king finance man. Holy crap. Yeah,
Cody what?
Cody Hood.
Hood.
Oh, Cody
Yeah,
Hood. Yeah.
yeah, you know, yeah,
And
yeah.
he doesn't even have a storefront, right?
So he does, and he does
He
do
does.
repair and stuff
Whoa.
still, but it's like he does it. It's kind of like a separate operation.
Yeah.
That's
Like
crazy.
a little mini Walmart, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
use their tools. You know what I mean? And going back to the prepaid and these multiple things that you are allowed or you can put in your store, I've said this like a million times. You already have an employee you're paying. You already have a rent you're paying. You already have a space you're paying. So might as well add a prepaid service and a finance that doesn't cost a thing into your store. It's all online. It doesn't cost anything. You know what I mean? So just add whatever you can into your small space and sell whatever you can out of that space to collect as much as money as you can.
So it was street cred capital,
Street cred, yeah.
but I
The way
guess
they do it,
Terra.
I think they you apply on their website and they run it through the multiple
Yeah,
fund union. I remember.
yeah.
Very nice guy. I can't remember his name. I spoke to him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I didn't know they changed names. But yeah,
Mm.
I know a lot of people that did try stuff with them, liked them. Nathan being a perfect example here in the chat. So I think that they just haven't been pushed out into this industry as much directly. Not sure what their core business is. We met them at ERC, but it doesn't seem like they were chasing the repair industry like a SEMA and all these other ones, but probably for all good reasons, I assume. So I'd assume maybe this is probably a little bit maybe on the better credit spectrum of things, maybe to give your customers a little bit better options. But like you said, 90 days same as cash. I mean, that's the way you present it, right? And guy in here, Chad also said like, most of the guys that have shops are, they're just repair guys. They're not sales guys. So like, no, it's hard for them to actually truly sell something. They're just good at turning a screwdriver, right? Like you're a hobbyist that turned into that, and you're doing what to do.
And
You're
you know
not,
what's so crazy, Josh, is what Tony said. They get offended sometimes when you tell them things like that. I think
yeah,
because a lot of them are very confident and very like secure technicians and hats down for them. I respect whatever they're doing, but you really have to be. I am not a technician. I don't know how to repair a phone, and I own 14 stores and I sell phones,
That's
I
why you
own
own 14
GSM.
stores.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't, but see, you can be the two, or you
Yeah,
can fix and become a store owner. But I think if you're really fixing one phone, you can't manage 10 stores. You know what I mean? Or two stores even. But I think, what we're doing here at this chat is trying to pass the knowledge to other people. And I believe you believe me, if I can guarantee that not even one person will come out here and say, Tony, I've done what you said, and and it didn't work. Nobody will say that, because if
no,
you really follow what I said, you will become successful. I've took people who was working from their mom's basement, and I've helped them open their first location, and I helped them purchase devices, and I helped them do finances, and now they have 4 locations, and now they work at their locations once a week. They have 4. So and there's more to it. I've get people where they call me and literally it's funny because they pay me like $300 for 30 minutes for consultation. I don't advertise it, and I don't want to, because I don't want to end up doing that for a living, But and one thing about me versus probably other people that own stores is I do acknowledge that, Alex is in Atlanta, I'm in Tampa, Josh is in whatever, So I do acknowledge every city has its own demographic, and every demographic has their own preferred devices, and every demographic has its own preferred grading scale. So I am not going to come and say what works in Tampa works in Atlanta, or what works in Atlanta works in Ohio. You know what I mean? So I do ask the questions, and I do before, like when somebody come and ask me like, what am I doing wrong? We ask questions, and that's how we're able to locate the issue. Like, are you doing finance? How are you pitching the finance? And we just, if you're pitching the finance like what Tom said just a little bit ago, you are going to pay $1,000 instead of 500. Absolutely. The customer will not buy. And this is just something that I can teach people on an outside knowledge from my experience in sales. And I think if you know how to sell, you can sell anything, and that's how you're able to grow. Fast money. We only got 30 days in a month. Collect as much as money as you can. That's how I do it.
So you've been here for an hour. Does that mean Josh is paying you $600?
Who's Josh? Oh, Josh. Oh, no. It's okay. I like to pass my knowledge to people, because you know what? Most of my customers came and started buying from GSM Warehouse because they've listened to me. They've done what I said, and they've seen results. So they came and it's all built on trust. That's why you never seen anybody on the group go out there and bash me.
Don't worry, bro.
You're gonna do that, huh?
No, I can never attack another Tony. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are wrapping it up actually on time for once. Alex, thanks for joining. Oh, my froze. My internet shot out. Never mind. I'm just talking to myself. I'm gonna mute myself. Uh-oh. Am I not locked anymore?
So, do you buy from
He's way on the
devices? You buy brand like VitaPay and stuff and commission?
Say that again?
You buy devices from VitaPay, you said, because you do prepaid and commission and stuff like that, or?
No, I don't buy any devices from the prepaid
Okay.
dealers. Yeah.
Because they sell sometimes they sell them and they give you spiff or whatever.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. I'm with ePay, not VitaPay. So ePay does some like Verizon commission. I think they sell some like XRs or like 12s where they give you extra spiff, but I don't buy devices from any of them.
Okay, nice. Yeah, you can't trust customers coming back, pay 3 months to get your commission. I don't know how people do that.
Yeah.
No way.
That's the thing with postpaid though. If they give you the commission, but if they don't pay for like 3 months, and then they charge you back the postpaid commission, which
I
is
think Metro right now is 6 months. Metro and Cricket are 6 months.
6
right now.
months?
Yeah.
Wow.
They just went, and Boost Mobile went up to 6 months as well.
Wow.
Because Boost Mobile went postpaid just recently, so they're taking IDs and they're putting ID numbers and stuff like that on their portal. It's crazy. I mean, like I said, it hasn't been much change for a while on the prepaid sector of in this industry. So it's just really the best thing to do is kind of like wait and see what's going to happen next. But it's been a while. Nothing is really. All they've been doing is A11, A12's free, A14, A15. It's like, what's next? See-through phone? I mean, that's the only thing that's going to change the industry. It's probably a see-through phone or.
Nah, it's going to be smart glasses, bro. It's going to be some more of those Meta glasses.
I don't know. I don't see myself wearing them. Or maybe I'm a dinosaur. That's what it is.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, those glasses are going to get really small in the future. It's going to look like regular glasses one day.
Yeah.
It's all going to be cloud-based, probably.
Whenever it's a contact, count me in. But until then, not interested.
Wasn't Facebook testing one of those before? They had a couple years back. I saw they had a prototype contact lens. I heard something about that.
It'd be crazy.
Didn't get very far, obviously, with it, but I mean, it makes sense. You look at how thin they're making these microchips. Dude, they're getting it's so thin. What was it, like 9 nanometers or something like that? Which is like less than the width of a hair already. So like in 5 years, it's gonna be like you'll stack up like 5 chips and 1 strain of hair. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be insane.
Tony, is it going to be a busy Black Friday? Like I said,
Hell yeah. It'll be like an $80,000 day. Nothing crazy.
that's
Yeah.
it, huh? Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Walmart or Best Buy.
Yeah. Oh
No,
shit.
we don't do crazy. We do good, but we don't do. I don't ever not waste. I don't spend the time going crazy on the sales, but we'll stock up and stuff like that. I mean, we do
I
good. You
think
know,
people in a good mood right now. Hopefully, it's gonna be okay. I don't want to say it's perfect because all the retails, like the small stores, are not doing as much as they used to 10 years ago. But like you said, stock up, be prepared. You never know. You don't want to get caught up short. That's all that matters. Like it's only
right.
that
Worst case
one
scenario,
day.
you don't
You're
have it.
gonna either make it or break it.
Yeah,
And
I
if you do
mean,
finance, you're gonna hit a $15,000 a day.
oh, easy. And I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to go on Facebook Marketplace and say Black Friday sale, get the newest phone, get the newest MacBook, whatever, for $50 down, and just start posting it every single day, 5 times a day. And that's 100 posts between now and Black Friday. You got 100 times you posted. Get the newest X for $50 down. You'll have 15, 20 people walk in and try to get it.
That's all you have to do, really. That's all
Yeah,
you have to do.
copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Just freaking, and you can even ignore the messages. No, not really. You should definitely answer the messages, but you'll get a million. But
And it's
yeah,
free.
it's free. That's the thing. People always ask, what kind of marketing should I pay for? Like, you start with free and then go from there. Then once you kind of maximize that, then pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think Black Friday just varies, obviously. I mean, you either want to put a lot of effort into it and you see the results, or there's been the guys who put the effort in and see nothing and don't get any business hardly, or it's just like a flop. And I don't know. I feel like if you haven't traditionally already been, crushing it, I think, or, seeing like progression through the years on Black Friday, if you're even open, right? Like some stores just aren't even open. There's like, whatever. I don't want the day, don't want my store open, but it's whatever. Every store is different. I just think that, there's opportunity there. And if you're not offering it, then they're going to go somewhere else, right? Like if somebody's not coming to your store and you're closed or you don't have what they're looking for, they're going to go to the next place. So,
Somebody else is selling it. If you don't have it,
yep.
someone else is selling it,
Man,
It's that
you just
simple.
said something that could be a whole other topic in of itself. If you're closed, the amount of people that I've seen stores that are open 5 days a week and they're closed on the weekends blows my mind. Like Saturday is the number one day in the industry by far. I don't care who you are. And he's like, oh, well, I need my me time. You're a business owner. You don't get it. You don't deserve it. Not
Well,
yet.
work enough to the point where you hire someone.
Yeah, right.
Like
But
people
like,
say,
don't
like people
close on the
go
busiest day.
on, are you open for Thanksgiving or Christmas Day? Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. Get to the point where you hire somebody, and that somebody doesn't care or needs the money more than
Saturdays.
you, or a different religion. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to. Like,
Mhm.
but if you're always gonna keep working 10 to 6, 5 days a week, you're definitely never
stuck.
going to.
Yeah, you're never going anywhere. Yeah.
You're never gonna stack up money. Never.
We checked, and our stores average our monthly revenue roughly 30, depending on which store it is, 30 to 35% of our revenue comes from Saturdays alone.
Wow.
So if we were closed on Saturdays, we would lose a third of our revenue.
Sunday is a pretty good day too.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I think it all varies on your market too. Like not market, but how competitive your area is. Like we're only open Monday through Friday. We were open on Saturdays for probably multiple months. Nobody ever came in, but
Well, you have 7 people in your town.
We have no
Yeah.
competition, right? So it's not like they're going anywhere else, right? Like so, like
Well,
there
no,
are
there's no
those
competition,
certain situations where I think it is applicable, but most of the
Well,
time,
I'm coming next
I
year,
yeah.
Josh,
I mean,
and
like,
I'll
we're in a
open
metro
on
area.
Saturday.
100% agreed.
Yeah.
It should be a Saturday, Sunday because you're right. Everybody's working through the week, so it's harder. But like whenever they already know we're only open Monday through Friday, they'll make it work, or it just I don't know.
Yeah, if you
So
don't have any stores in a 20-mile
I'll go to your
radius,
market. I'll go to your market, Josh, and I'll open Saturday and Sunday.
You're gonna lose a lot of money, buddy.
but
You see
doesn't
Tony
that
sitting there.
doesn't that leave room for competition? It does.
We're too small. It's too small. Nobody else. I mean, we're the only place within a 40-mile radius. Almost. not
about to
like
be
a
the
5 or
second place.
10. Yeah. I mean, it's all small communities, right?
You
So
can
it's
have
like
it all.
what all the communities within that radius equal like a normal sized town like population.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it goes like if you have a store within 20 miles of you, you should probably consider being open on Saturdays.
100%.
Like it's crazy the amount like we have so many stores that I look and I'm like you're not open on. I mean, you Josh, you see too like you're not open on Saturdays, you're not open on Sundays, and like you're in the heart of a metropolitan city. You're like, bro, like that's probably half your revenue
Yeah.
gone.
One of my franchisees is in a like a Latin area. His Sundays are the best days out of the week. He would do like $6,000 or $7,000 revenue on Sunday alone.
Because they're
And
working
that's
Monday to Saturday.
and that's 12 to 5. He does $6,000, $7,000 in 5 hours versus like $2,000, $3,000 during the
Wait,
weekdays,
you
weekends.
said what was his market? You said
It's Latin, Spanish,
no,
Spanish.
no, I'm saying that's what makes sense because they're probably working Monday through Saturday. They bust their ass, and then
I take
Sunday's their day
Sundays
off.
off only. If you're not
Yeah,
open on Sundays, I'm not blowing my money with you.
yep, same here. I work Monday to Saturday, so Sundays is the day we go and shop. We do crap.
Yeah,
So there's a demographic for everything, right? So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
and usually people that shop on Sundays typically have a little bit more money because they're busy working Monday to Saturday, and so
They're
you can
family.
kind of
They're
open
like
that.
family kind of people. So they'll shop on Sunday. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Taking their entire family out, buying everything for yep. So that's why restaurants are you can sit down, you got a table of 12
If
people
I
all of a
stay
sudden.
home, I don't spend shit. If I leave on Sunday, I know I'm spending 1,000 plus. So
Yeah.
I try not
That's
to
why
leave.
that's why on Sunday mornings I'll cook my wife breakfast and I'm like, hey, why don't you put on these slippers and just relax?
Yeah, no.
I try to keep
I know
keep
the
them.
minute I leave the house, I'm spending. I need $100 gas tank and plus more. Yeah.
See, that's why you need a Tesla. There you go.
Hell no, man.
Charge her up for $4.
It
Yeah.
takes too long to
Sit there
charge.
for
I heard
30
about 45
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
Chill out, Josh.
How long does it take to charge? What is it, like
Just what I
35,
said.
45
I
minutes?
mean, depending on how
It,
low it
it
is,
depends.
yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you go home and park overnight, by the time you wake up, it's 100% way before then.
Yeah.
Depending on what cities you're in, like in Charlotte, we have these really fast chargers. They charge at 1,000 miles per hour. So I mean, you plug in for 5 minutes, you got 100 something miles. So it's
What
like
is the full tank charge? Like, what is the full tank equal to $1?
depending on the model. Oh, so like if you charge at home, a full tank is like $6, $7 maybe, and you go 300
Really?
miles.
I
Yeah.
I spend 300 a week.
I used to spend about 125, 130 a week. Now I spend like 15, 20. It's nice.
Man, yeah, it's
But then but then
eight
the car
miles,
payment.
8 miles per gallon. 8 miles per gallon. Like fuck that.
Hard pass.
You got yourself a
That's too
dually
much.
over there or something, driving around a damn semi truck.
No, I drive a TRX.
I'll do
Of
it.
course. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right,
Good.
gents. Well, we're gonna wrap this up now that my internet's working. So,
Can't make that excuse twice, bro.
yeah, exactly. Alex, thanks for coming. Tom, thanks for the idea. Got a few other topics trying to line some people up with for the rest of the year: financing, game consoles, business,
Ooh,
capital
consoles.
stuff. So, yeah, got a few other things. Other than that, that is it. So appreciate everybody hopping on, spending the hour and a half with us.
Thanks for having us.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Nice meeting you
Sure.
guys.
Talk to you.
See you guys.
Yep. See you guys.